I know I say this every time I kick off a transfer special, but I really mean it today. If you didn't see yesterday's video, the end of season 13, we did 5 matches in the episode. It was a bonkers one. You should totally go watch it. I know some people just click on the yellow transfer special thumbnails. No. Down below, next to the like button, which you should also click, is a link to yesterday's video. Go watch it. It's worth your time. Why is there a highlight, Football Manager? Why are we doing this? Why? Oh my God, Greg. To all the Greg critics out there, watch that save again and again. Write your apology in the comment section. That is an unbelievable stop. Villa do still have the ball, though. They do. Tejera, Montero, just get it. Is this really how this season's going to end? Is this like, I don't believe it. Do I have to upload this to YouTube? Can I just, skip over this game in a recap? We're going to run the intro. Final warning, spoilers ahead. Let's do an end of season review and a kickoff to what is going to be a massive summer transfer window. I promise I haven't rigged the vote. Signing of the season, Greg. Yeah, Greg has actually won signing of the season, and I know his performances haven't been faultless, but ultimately, he saved some massive penalties at the end of the season to get some really important results, and for £2.6 million, coming in without a pre-season at the club, thrown in at the deep end, having been Betis's kind of starting goalkeeper, I think he kind of did as good as we could have hoped him to do. I know he only kept 6 clean sheets. I know he conceded 65. It could have been a lot worse without him, and for 2.6 million, I think we got a bargain. Do I think he's the long-term goalkeeper of my dreams at this club? Not really, but I think as a first-team goalkeeper for the coming season, potential if he can develop in the next 12 months to become that long-term starter is there perhaps, but ultimately, I think he showed he's perfectly serviceable. And as far as goalkeepers go, there is a lot of green in his form for the last 20 games. When he plays well, he plays really well. Elsewhere, Big Knot, I think, had a really good season, came in with some pressure on his shoulders at £21.5 million, but for a 19-year-old who has some room to develop, I think he put in a pretty good first season. 20 Premier League goals for any striker, I think, is an acceptable amount. And I think the most pleasing thing of all is he's actually shown some room to develop. He has shown that he is going to get better and better. There was a bit of a question mark over him. But even if he just consistently performed at the level we've seen him perform at this year, I'd be okay with that. Elsewhere, Jamfi came in and had a really good performance. 11 assists is not a bad return for a left wing-back. In the Championship, we saw our left wing-back and right wing-back really shine in this system. Last year in the Premier League, that was an area where we didn't really have the same level of creativity. Adu Jamfi came in, he provided that creativity. Besides that, Warunga came in and played 35 games, was a very reliable option at centre-back. Jorge Gutierrez came in, kind of did okay. He's not very happy at the club. I do wonder if that is impacting his ability to settle down and his ability to really develop. Apparently, he's still upset that I didn't sign another Uruguayan player to help him settle. Even though there's 2 others already in the squad, I'm going to hope that he forgives me over the summer and he can have a better second season. So a lot of our transfer business was these younger players who are going to be here for the long haul, hopefully going to develop. The one man who we signed as a straight replacement for James Price was Anthony Rich. Truth be told, he wasn't amazing. He was fine. I wasn't really expecting a lot from him for a January panic buy. I can say that now. It was a panic buy. The only other player that we signed really was the goalkeeper, Jacobo Bordignon, whose name I still don't feel like rolls off the tongue correctly, and I'm almost certainly saying it wrong. We brought him in to be a backup goalkeeper. We never really needed him. I had the option to buy him for £11 million. Not going to be exercising that option. Of course, we did have some big sales this year. Felipe left to go to Besiktas for £10.25 million. Played a lot of football in the Super League, didn't actually play very well for them. Henry Rojas, of course, the Costa Rican youngster, left us to go to Besiktas. He got 9 goals in 27, which is not terrible. I don't think it's a £9 million return. And the other man who left us for significant money was James Price. We sold him in January for £9 million. He did not score in the Championship, and he got a 6.45 rating. I think we've robbed Crystal Palace there. It makes the Rich signing look quite good, I think. In terms of results, of course, the board gave us an A+. If they didn't give us an A+ for this season, we were never going to get one. It was a great season. I know the end of it was, well, let's be honest, it was absolutely tragic. We won one of our kind of like last 10 games, I think, looking at things here. But ultimately, we had a very, very good season earlier on, and that meant despite a bit of a capitulation, we just about hung on for those European spots. FA Cup quarter-final loss to Arsenal, that happens, and, well, we lost to Charlton on penalties. Let's forget about this. The Carabao Cup, we've never got past the first round in the last few years, and we may never get past the first round of it. I say that, I know technically we start in the second round. I mean the first round that we play in. I know someone's going to try and be a smart ass in the comment. Don't be that guy! Biggest win this year, 7-0 against Fulham. Match to remember, apparently the 1-0 win against Tottenham. I mean, it was our first game in our new stadium, so I suppose it makes sense that was the match to remember. Financially, of course, Premier League money is always going to be good. Didn't quite have as many games on TV this year as last year, which is kind of surprising given how our season went on. But due to the fact we finished 6th instead of 12th, we actually receive £12 million more money. The prize money per position in the Premier League is significant. In terms of shirt sales, 11,000 sold. I think a few seasons ago we only sold like 1,000. So things have changed rather quickly here. Gaspar top seller, Lemos, Tejera, Bignot and Jaime the other top sellers. I don't think there's any big surprises there. Here is our team of the year as well. The front three, unsurprisingly, Bignot, Gaspar, Lemos. You can see Tejera, 7.25, the best rating of any of our defenders. Greg did get above a 7, so one of the few players to get a green average rating. In terms of the rest of the team, not entirely surprising the selection. Europe, of course, next season is going to be a big consideration. This summer, we need to add a bit more quality and depth, especially on off the bench to change games. In the final third, we didn't have that this year. It's a good job that most of the time, the strikers that we had on the pitch did fine. I suppose Gaspar getting 23 goals is worth screaming and shouting about. Lemos was 6th player of the matches. Jaime, most assists. He got 13. The majority of them, I'll be honest, were set pieces, but ultimately he did his job as part of the cogs in the machine. And the player who was once upon a time our star player, I know he's declined a little bit recently due to an injury, but if we just compare him with Lemos, he's not really the star of the team anymore, is he? I mean, it makes you realise how good Lemos is, that this is the comparison, I think, between the two of them. Lemos, by the way, just a reminder, still 19. Young player of the season was Tejera. Tejera, young player of the season. He's 24. He's one of the oldest players in the first team. Worth noting, as I sit here right now, I don't know if we're in the Europa League or Conference League. It all comes down to if Sunderland beat Arsenal in the FA Cup final. It feels unlikely. We'll know when I go forward to the opening of the transfer window, which is, I think, a few weeks away now, whether or not that's happened. But in terms of the team, in terms of this season, I mean, what a season it's been. We've exceeded all expectations. Social media following is on the up. A 33% rise. We're getting big time now. Reputation's going up. Fair weather fans are going up, as are the casuals. Hopefully, longer term, that is going to allow us to have a bit more pulling power. I know some people were very frustrated I didn't spend more money over the course of this season, be it in January or in the summer. But the reality is that if you look at us here, with our current reputation, even at the end of this season, we are barely above, well, the championship teams, to be honest. In fact, there's a handful of championship teams of higher rep than us. We just don't quite have that pulling power yet. But, of course, with European football on the horizon and a lot of money to spend today, that's going to change. In terms of the board vision, they keep asking me to play direct football. I keep just ignoring it and hoping it will go away eventually. You can see here, the aim for next year, reach the latter stages of the Conference League and attempt to avoid relegation from the Premier League. And then the long-term aim, just continue to attempt to avoid relegation. So the board aren't letting the fact that we've got European football for one season go to their head. They clearly think it's a fluke. If you're wondering how the dynamics and hierarchy are looking, here it is on display. We have team leaders, we have highly influential players, we have influential players, we have other players. It's a normal looking tree in terms of the number of players. The way it's laid out is a little bit upsetting, isn't it? It looks like a Christmas tree. I don't know if that makes me the star or the angel on the top. I'll let you guys decide. Anyway, the current team are on a break to July 9th. With that in mind, I'm going to go away and I think I'm going to come back when the transfer window opens. It opens on the 9th of June, so it's only a few weeks away. By then, we should know what's going on with the FA Cup and if we've got Europa League football or not. And, well, we'll need to start signing players because I'm going to be honest, I look at this team, there's a few average players I would like to get rid of, a few youth players who perhaps should be playing with the under-21s rather than our first team, and also I need a team for the Europa League or Conference League, which means homegrown players are needed. I've not really thought about that. What homegrown players do we have? We've got Dale Davidson in the first team, who's due to be homegrown. McKillop and Machete. Okay, that makes things a little bit easier. And, if I remember correctly, I've had a goalkeeper saved for this moment. Rob Carlton. Can people remember Rob? Don't really talk much about him. He was our goalkeeper back in the National League and League Two. He's been chilling in the youth team ever since. 25 years old. He's a backup goalkeeper who's homegrown at club. Rob, this is your time to shine, mate. Welcome to the senior team. Give him a clap. One of 4 homegrown players we needed. Always knew this day would come. Okay, that's the end of the season. I'm going to join you guys for the transfer window. Do not go anywhere. Okay, folks, we are back. 9th of June, transfer window's open. The FA Cup final does not happen for a few more days. I don't know why it's happening on the 12th of June. Database issue. Of all the issues you could have with a database, the fact that FA Cup final happens on a Tuesday, I mean, it could be worse. But this is a bit bizarre. We are in the Europa League already. Now, of course, we are a few seasons into the future and the whole Champions League and European football format is being massively rejigged, you know, with the crazy giant group. I actually haven't had a chance to play in it yet in Football Manager, so that's going to be a fun learning experience next season with the more kind of group stage games in the weird format. But Liverpool won the Europa League, but we're already qualified for the Champions League, so now Newcastle are in the Champions League. Apparently that's a thing now. Definitely didn't used to be like that, but as a result of Liverpool winning the Europa League and getting a spot there, Newcastle have been given Liverpool's spot, I think, and then because of that, we get Europa League football. So all of a sudden, I believe it's Aston Villa praying that Sunderland can not beat Arsenal in a few days' time. European football qualification just mental. I'm just going to trust the game's not lying. I think we're in the Europa League. And going into this transfer window, £107 million in the overall bank balance, £69.9 million transfer budget. I promise I haven't done that for the memes. That is just how the number has settled. And wage budget, we've got £150,000 in excess. The reality is we're probably going to be looking for bargains, and that wage budget might get stretched a little bit thin. We might need to make that a little bit bigger. So here is our squad to start this season. We have 3 goalkeepers. We have a current squad, actually, I should say, of 24 players. That is because I've made some decisions which are going to prove unpopular, I think. But Chilumbu, I promised I wasn't going to sell him, but he's also told me he's exploring options at the end of his contract next year. So I've broken the promise. I've accepted a bid from Olympiacos of 6.25 million. I'm going to hope he accepts that. Realistically, like I said, I want a few better striking options on off the bench. Chilumbu has been a monumental flop. If we could get our money back, that would be fine. If he rejects Olympiacos, I'm willing to take a risk of making him as unhappy as I can to try and get him out the door. And the other man who might be a little bit of a surprise to see down here in the youth team is Aboubakari, but ultimately he's not going to be homegrown at club. At centre mid, we have a lot of depth. This year, he didn't start a single game, and if I could get £5 million for him, I probably should be trying to get that £5 million for him. A good servant to the club. We picked him up for £325,000, but it's time to take him behind the barn with a shotgun. And, well, metaphorically, so not actually going to shoot him. We're just going to try and sell him. He keeps rejecting contract offers from clubs, though, which could be a problem. Elsewhere, Mason Burstow, contract expiring. We're going to be letting him go. Kavan Williams' contract is expiring as well. Of course, he was on loan at our affiliate Boston. Remember Boston? We were going to try and help them get promoted back to League One. They'd just been relegated. Well, good news. It's not good news at all. They have finished bottom of the league. You can't even see it. Let me reverse things so my face isn't in the way. They finished 10 points clear at the bottom of the table. Boston United got relegated, set up an affiliation with us. We gave them Baranok, and they got relegated again. So apparently my players that I loaned them, not very good. And Kavan Williams this season in League 2, 4 goals in 36 games. The fact this man got 23 goals in the Championship, I think, is a testament to my genius. Maybe what's less of a testament is the fact that we have been paying him £17,000 a week. But if anything, I think that's a debt we owed him. Blaine Goller had a good little loan spell at Lincoln this year, was promoted with them from League One. We are probably going to be looking to sell him in the summer. If I could get a few £1 million, I'd be happy. Darren Dixon's another man who I might look to sell on this year. He is actually going to be homegrown at the end of this month, which I kind of wanted to get for him before I look to sell him on. But at 20 years old, he's never really progressed at a rate I've been happy with. And, well, he's homegrown at club now. I can sell him on. If I'm desperate for homegrown players down the line, maybe we can bring him in. I've set an asking price of £15 million. His guide value is kind of either side of that. If we could get £15 million for him, that would be a robbery. So if we're looking at our team to start this year, we've got Greg in goal, Teixeira at centre-back, I think is fine. Fulhantine this year was a player who I wasn't sure what to think of. He kind of kicked up a stink last summer, considered selling him because I felt like he was overpaid a little, but he's proven his worth. I think we've given him a new contract recently, 5 more years. £43,000 is a really, really fair contract, I think, given the fact he has actually developed during his time at the club pretty well. And as a right centre-back option, I think this year he's going to be fine. Now, left centre-back, who were using Warunga this year, and he and Volshak were kind of competing for this position. 2 players who I feel like maybe aren't quite ready for first-team football now. If there was an area of the pitch to maybe look to improve, we could look to move on Warunga if the right centre-back was out there. Given the fact I'm happy with other positions, I'm actually going to remove him from this spot. This is going to be a question mark position. We might get someone in there, but if we didn't sign a left centre-back, it's not really the end of the world. Of course, Adu Giamfi and Jaime had some really good performances this year. They had the most assists in the team, so they're kind of no-brainers to come back and be in the starting 11. In terms of the other centre-mid spot, this is a really, really interesting one because Emiliano Montero, I do love the look of, but the lack of physicals on him does concern me. I don't necessarily believe he can do a roaming playmaker role like Jaime can. He just doesn't have that ball-carrying ability. He doesn't have the physicals yet to do it. As a backup in that role, I think he could be fine. In the Europa League, I think he could kind of do the business as a bit of a rotation option. The other option would be to obviously play him alongside Jaime, which is something we have done at points through this year. But to be honest, a deep line playmaker alongside a roaming playmaker doesn't really work that well, especially if they've got, a high press, if a team's really putting you under the cosh. I've not really liked the results I've seen. You don't get enough lateral movement. And with that in mind, there's definitely a temptation to bring McKillop back into the team. McKillop is a player who consistently has, at least in the eyes of our staff, really, really high potential, and I would love to see him fulfill it, and at points this year, he did impress me here. I think it is worth noting, the staff member who I have providing my player reports is David Watson, who is, without a doubt, the best coach in the world, at least for a goalkeeper. I mean, look at his attributes here, but also, he has 20 on judging player ability and 20 judging player potential, which at this level is really, really useful. So I do trust this man's judgments. The stars you see here, I'm not going to say they're 100% trustworthy. They are reliable, and he's bigging up McKillop still, and I want to believe the hype. So McKillop might end up playing at centre mid. It's another one of those areas where if we found a player there that was a no-brainer and I felt like I couldn't say no to, we'd bring them in. But if I don't find anyone, it's not really the end of the world. We'd have Machete as backup, Montero as backup. Abubakari's potentially moving on, but he didn't really feature much this year anyway. At right wing back, we've talked about Ryan Hunter already, and of course we do have the other option of Gutierrez. Neither of these were doing it for me this year. So right wing back, definitely a position I would like to address. When it comes to the final third, Lemos, Gaspar, Bignot all had really, really good seasons. There was definitely points this year where they kind of let us down a little bit and just didn't play that well, but that's where the lack of depth really showed. I would love to get in a backup option. At the same time, I don't really want to interfere with these players' minutes too much. Of course, Gaspar's 21 with some potential. Bignot's only 19, and Lemos is also only 19. These are players who I want to continue to give first-team football to. The one consideration I suppose I could make is potentially, if we found a really good centre attacking mid option, Lemos could come into the team, maybe play as a pressing forward over Bignot, and then Bignot would become kind of the utility man on off the bench. He's proven his worth as a player who can start for us. At 19 years old, he's been good, but when you look at his overall ability, of our 3 attacking players, he is the one man that maybe you put a little bit of a question mark over. Ultimately, though, to make that decision, I think we would have to find a really, really good centre attacking mid who's within our budgets. I'm not even sure how likely that is, to be fair. So order of the day, right wing back, left centre back, attacking players of sorts, maybe a centre defensive mid. Ultimately, looking for bargains, looking for depth. Should address this before we get any further. We're not playing in Guernsey again. I know. So the Guernsey Stadium is being expanded by 7,000 seats. Yeah, that's not a small amount of money we've had to pay for that. I think it was around £8 million. Whilst all that's going on, though, we're playing at AFC Bournemouth Stadium. So, yeah, we're not going home. We don't need to worry about renaming the stadium for another season. Anyway, on that down note, we're going to get into some transfer business. Of course, it's only the start of June. Loads and loads of time left of the window. Let's get wheeling. Let's get dealing. This is my favourite thing to do in Football Manager. I'm very excited. With transfer specials, I edit them as I record them, just because it gives me a slightly better idea, I think, of how long the videos are going to be. Today's intro has been on the longer side, but I do feel like Football Manager is a game of details, and with us doing the transfer specials over 2 parts, I kind of feel like it's nice to take 10, 15 minutes just to talk through the squad, how the season ended last year. It gives you a bit of a catch-up if you missed a couple of episodes during the season. Maybe I could compact it down a little bit. If you've got any thoughts on what you've seen so far of today's episode, you can let me know down below. We are going to get into some transfer bidness now. I don't know why I've said bidness. And in fact, Leicester have got a couple of players at the top of the transfer listed players, which has jogged my memory. They got relegated, so did West Ham. I was just looking through Leicester's players here. Kevin Buchanan? That's definitely... Buchanan? No idea. He's scary German name. He looks amazing. I have just noticed he's on £275,000 a week. But he does have a release clause of £30 million from a relegation release clause. There's no way in hell I can afford his wages, but I'm kind of just curious to see how much he asks for. I mean, he is very good, and he is only 22. That wage is mental. He's on more than double the next highest earner at Leicester, and that is Marco Carnesecchi, who's a player I'm very familiar with in Football Manager. Very, very good goalkeeper. Probably too good for the Championship. I'm not going to lie, there's a temptation to bring him in for a year or two over Greg, but he's on £135,000 a week. And obviously, our current highest earner is on £52,000 with Gaspar. And whilst I can afford to pay a player or two £100,000 a week, as soon as I do that, a lot of the other players in the squad are going to want wage rises. So probably isn't the best idea to sign these Leicester players. It will nuke my wage budget. Alex Doolan here is an England national team player. Looks amazing, but an estimated wage demand of £88,000 to £110,000. I mean, it's just too much, isn't it? He could be a left centre-back option. I'm kind of tempted just to make a bid for him, just to see what the wage demands are like, but I can't say I'm particularly optimistic about us being able to do anything here. Let's discuss with his wages with his agent. £130,000 to £170,000. That is mental. And then I've asked them to lower it, and they've lowered it by £10,000. I don't think Leicester players are going to be on the table. Koku Diallo. Now, confession time here. Did already try to sign this guy. Didn't even want to talk to me. I did the thing, where you offer him, some demands that he wants promise-wise, and then he just keeps rejecting, what matter what you give him. When you look at his goal-scoring record in the Premier League, this is mental. This man has less than 20 goals across the last 5 seasons. Are they playing him at centre-mid or something? Nope. He's played 42 games as a striker this year. I mean, £36 million is a really reasonable sum of money for a player of this ability. Shame he doesn't want to join me. I'm looking through this West Ham team. I'm not very impressed by what I'm seeing. They've got a very, very old squad. This is not a team that I would necessarily back to be getting an immediate promotion back to the big time after their relegation. Yeah, their team is not great, and it is old. West Ham fans, maybe be worried. I mean, Darwin Núñez is at the club, and he's about to retire. And with those attributes, you can't really blame him. I am just doing my yearly scout of looking through teams who have been relegated. Dusseldorf have finished bottom by absolutely miles with Vieira as their manager. Nagele is their key man. Yeah, he's not good enough. Schalke's media prediction was 7th, and they have been relegated from the Bundesliga. Their key player is Tom Hilditch, who actually doesn't look that bad as a centre-mid option. I'm not sure he's the kind of centre-mid we need, but he doesn't look bad. That said, £28 to £35 million for him and wages over £140,000. That's going to be problematic. Schalke's top goal scorer was this guy, Nevada, who actually looks really, really good. He's a Mexican forward. Goal scoring record at international level is not too bad. He's quick, he's physical, he's good in the air, elite striker. Value of 31 million to 48 million, or 47 million. Reading numbers is hard. Apparently, he wouldn't be interested in a move under any circumstances. I'm going to scout him anyway, because he looks good. The other man who got goals for Schalke was this geezer, and he's nowhere near as good, is he? I think the issue is with Schalke, they were in the Europa League this year, and their relegation was so unexpected. None of their players have relegation release clauses, so until they're officially relegated, they might not have a load of players that want to potentially join us. This guy's very good, isn't he? Bright Bentil. He's really good. I want him. He doesn't want to join us under any circumstances. Maybe if I wait for the season to tick over, he'll change his mind. Maybe once the game's like, hey, you're a Europa League team, and we get like the Europa League thing on our club profile screen, maybe then these players will want to talk to me. Just to be safe, I'm just going to scout the whole of Schalke's team. Why not scout all their players? Should be fun. There were no shock relegations in Serie A or Liga, sadly. I did have a quick look. I am now looking at the Spanish First Division. Zaragoza, do they have any players available? I'm currently whelmed by what I'm seeing. It doesn't look great. Their value of their players hasn't exactly got me excited. I'll put it that way. I have looked through Almeria's team and Tenerife's team. They haven't got players. I've just realised Fulham were relegated from the Premier League as well, and I completely ignored them. They could have some okay players. Paddy Murray, highest rated player of the players we've got scouted. He's fine. He doesn't fit our system in any way, shape or form. Remember Zakuani? I wanted to sign Zakuani. He was asking for crazy money off me, went to Fulham, played in the Championship, got them promoted, then proved he wasn't Premier League ready. Maybe a bullet dodged. Or maybe he would have been the next Kavan Williams and I would have got loads out of him. We may never know. I'm looking through the rest of these Fulham players. Not that excited by any of them. I say that, and then Ian Flecht here pops up. But at £17 million, he just looks like a more expensive Chilumbu. I mean, is he a more expensive Chilumbu? Pretty much. Kevin has told me he doesn't want to talk to me, so never mind. Alex Doolan is okay with talking with me, but he wants to be a regular starter, and his agent has already said he wants a lot of money, and I can confirm he wants too much money. Walk away. And Diallo, I already mentioned, I tried to sign him. He wanted stupid money. He's on £135,000 a week. He is not interested in talking with me. I was wondering where Yannick Schmid was. Remember when we had him on loan? He was very good. He's just played a whole season for FC Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. I don't know why I've just referred to them as FC Bayern instead of just Bayern Munich. Just reading what I see. What a centre-back and what a player this guy was to have on loan for a few years. I would have loved to have had him back, but well, he's not going to want to join us now. And even if he did want to join us, can't really afford him. The reason I was thinking about Schmid, by the way, was that Walder has popped up again. I like Walder. He's not the right wing-back solution, is he? He's just not. He's had a year on loan at Celtic, and in that time, he's played awfully. He didn't even get an assist last season. I was just looking through some scout reports. This guy jumps out at me. Michal Bujak, or Bujak. You Polish viewers, help me out. He's got 2 caps for Poland. He's 18 years old. He's a left wing back who looks pretty decent. Now, he is injury prone, like Adu Giamfi, but he is also available for £3 million. And £3 million to this guy seems quite sensible. Last year, we made a habit of signing bargain youngsters. I think this guy could add to that list. Of course, we can only sign 6 foreign players under the age of 21. I think he is worth a punt. Another kind of couple of youngsters that were jumping out at me was this guy, Kalfan, who doesn't seem too bad. He's got 17 caps for the United Arab Emirates already, and he's a good player. He doesn't get me that excited. And the other player whom I scout rate really highly is Carlos Rowan, who is fine. I mean, he's injured at the moment, but he is either-footed. He's injured for 2 to 5 months. Ignore everything I've said. Not under consideration. Okay, Buyak does want to join me, although he does want to be a regular starter, and he wants me to bring in someone to help him settle. Is anyone else getting a sense of deja vu? I don't even know if I can guarantee him a spot as a regular starter, but I could just lie to him. Why does he want a minimum release clause? Okay, I've offered him £25,000 a week. I managed to get rid of the 10% yearly wage rise. I want to compare him to Adam really quick. How good is Adam? Adam for the last few years has been our go-to backup left wing-back option. He probably is going to be better than Adam in the long run. I'm just a bit scared about promising him regular first-team football and also promising I'm going to sign another Polish player. Logically, you should probably look at the Polish national team just to see what's out there. Now that I'm looking through the Polish national team, I am questioning if this is going to be more hassle than it's worth. I guess I could just sign like a really rubbish player, like Kazadja here, and hope that he wants to actually sign and then never play him. I don't know if Mikhail here is worth it. I have no idea if I'm saying his name correctly either. I'll leave you guys to let me know in the comments what you would do. I'm going to leave the offer going. Of course, we could sign a Polish player in a few months' time, right at the end of the window if need be. For £2 million, or £3 million, sorry, he looks like a no-brainer. The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking it's less a no-brainer. Good news, everyone. Chilumbu is going to Olympiacos. It is going to be a guaranteed 5.2 6.25 million, I want to say, but it could go up to 7 million. I didn't think we were going to get money back for Chilumbu, so this is a relief. Just confirmation, it's £525,000 up front, and it could rise to £7 million. We spent 6.25 million on him, so if the clauses come in, I made profit, and then he'll no longer be a bad transfer. That's what I'm going to tell myself. It's not true, but I feel like people just lie on the internet all the time anyway, so I can get away with it too. I do think it's probably in our interest to wait for the season to tick over before I try and make too many transfers. We don't really need to rush into our business early. In earlier years, I felt like there was so much competition for players that we had to, do deals as quickly as possible. Now that there's not as much need to rush, we have a bit more of a pick of what's out there. Big moment, by the way, FA Cup final, Championship Sunderland v Premier League Arsenal. Can Sunderland do the No, they've lost 1-0. Nice try, Sunderland. Confirmation, just as I thought, with that result, Aston Villa do get Conference League football. Manchester United will be in the Europa League with us. I can't wait to get drawn against them in the knockouts. You just know that's going to happen. Ajax have made a bid for Aboubakari. It's 3.2 million. It's just not enough, Ajax. I know you guys have money. Bujak? I don't know. It could be Buyak. It's not Yak. It can't be Yak. That's like a Nordic thing. Either way, he could sign for us. I don't know if I want him. I'm going to delay it. I'll think about it in the shower after the episode or something. Just remembered about a transfer that I kept delaying. And I kept delaying it because I thought, I'll mention it earlier in the episode. This is a £16 million signing. But England under 20s. Was it the under 20s I was looking at? Or was it the under 21s? It was the under 21s I was looking at. I had my scouts look at all the players. Matthew Cadman here, who plays for Championship Reading, he looks blooming good. And I need English players. I need players who could potentially become homegrown at club. He won't count as one of the players that we pick up. And I fancy a punt. And at 18 years old, super consistent, mega potential. To me, he looks like he could be an absolutely incredible advance forward down the line. Offering £8 million up front, £8 million over 3 years. I can't believe I forgot to mention this transfer, to be honest. It's a 5-year deal with an optional 3-year extension as well. This is potential long-term deal here that we're signing with Cadman. And whilst I don't necessarily think he's going to be playing all that often for us in the first season, would like to give him a cameo here and there. All I'm going to say is, look at the potential. If the scouts haven't lied, he's going to be blooming brilliant. Train him as an advance forward. Focus on that anticipation by training his attacking movement. Matthew Cadman, remember the name. I now understand why Newcastle got that spot in the Champions League. There are highest coefficient spots in the new Champions League. The two nations that have the highest coefficient get an extra spot, I think. That's why Newcastle have qualified. It had nothing to do with the Europa League. Like I said earlier, the new European competitions scare me. It has just dawned on me. I was scouting the England national youth team setups and I came across Cadman, who of course we've already signed. I was doing this pre-episode because, between May and June, what else is there to do but look through national teams? Cadman looks amazing. He's actually made an appearance for the under-21 since I first looked at him. There is another player in the under-20s who I like the look of, and it's this guy, Hakan Riddenhaugen. Strong name. That is not traditional English name. He's part Kosovoan, part Norwegian, part English. I absolutely love that as a mix. He's 16 years old. Is it just me or is he mad? Am I about to spend money on another centre-back? I think I am. He's 16. He's 16 and he's English. The resale value has to be there. 14 to 20 million. Bournemouth, let's make a deal. I'm going to offer them £12 million up front, but here's the big one. If he makes 20 appearances for England, I'll give you £7.5 million. That could have gone better. Okay, here's the deal. £15 million up front, £7.5 million if he makes 20 appearances for England. This isn't going great. Make it 1.5 and you got a deal, Bournemouth. It's a lot of money. I think he might be worth it. Now, I can already see the comments. Jack, you're paying £21 million for a 16-year-old. He looks absolutely immense for a centre-back. Maybe even a centre-mid if he got his game better rounded. He's 16 years old. He's English. English players just come with a premium. He is going to be worth double the money I'm paying in a few years' time. It is bothering me the fact his face is a little bit blurry. If I sign him, am I allowed to give him plastic surgery and change his face? Are you guys okay with that? Let me know. Answers on a postcard. Just to check, he is definitely 16. The facial hair is suggesting otherwise. I mean, it's £7.5 million out of this year's budget, but we're basically getting most of that from the Chilumbu sale, so it's fine. I am offended. I am disappointed. He's rejected me. He wants to stay at Bournemouth. I'm upset. I feel betrayed. You just know for an absolute fact this man is going to be just ripping me a new one in a few seasons' time for another Premier League team now. I'm going to keep him on the radar. I'm going to have him on the shortlist forever. I want him. I keep getting bids for Aboubakari. The bids are absolute... They're just rubbish. I'm not going to swear. Family show. I'm going to lower his asking price to £4.2 million, but I do want 50% of any profit. 50, not 45. I've had one bid. It's from Leganés in the second division of Spain. They've offered 2.6 million and he isn't even interested in joining them. I want 4.2 Leganés. I should have asked for the potential sell-on, shouldn't I, really? I think I'm just going to take this. He's probably going to turn them down anyway. He's definitely turning them down. He's already rejected a few offers before this kind of episode began. I'm never getting rid of Aboubakari. He's here forever. Here's the scout report to all the Schalke players. The vast majority of them have no interest in a transfer, which it's not exactly what you want to read. I think it's in like a week's time that we have the tick over date where the game goes, you are now Europa League. I need to get to that date. Aston Villa have made an offer for Jaime of £10 million. 10 million! I signed this geezer for 3.9 million and he's played immensely for 2 years and then you're insulting me with this bid. He's valued at 13 to 16 million. They've offered me 6 million up front. Jog on. This feels like a significant moment. The board have announced the planned expansion to our training facilities have been completed and with it, we have 5-star training facilities and it says we're in the Europa League now. We're official. I can't remember. Are we improving the youth facilities at the moment? Is that a thing? It's not a thing yet. I don't think. Can we get that going? Excuse me, Mr. Board. Okay. I feel sad now. I'm so used to just being able to spam requests and now I'm running out of things to ask for. I'm bored. Let's just ask for an affiliate. Can we look for an affiliate to help with our international profile? There's no benefit, please. Please. I'm going to beg. You can ask as much as you want. You must be aware the fans are behind me. They've accepted and they want me to pick the partner. Oh my word, it's like we're on blind date but with football clubs. Okay, I can choose a club, everyone. What teams are on the list? Okay, I'm going to be honest, I was expecting sexier options. When you sort them by division, there's not that many in actual leagues and it would be a bit dodgy, I feel like, just making an affiliation with an under-19 Chinese team. That seems sketchy. Jeju are the one team in South Korea's top flight who actually want to talk to us. They've not got good youth recruitment. Down the line with these kind of affiliations, I like to negotiate the ability to use the club's youth recruitment to get some players into our own intakes. That is actually something I did manage to negotiate with Central Coast Mariners. So you can see here, they can send academy players to train with us and we might benefit from some of their players coming through our youth ranks. They have some okay youth recruitment. I guess I should look for all the teams here and see which has the best youth recruitment. It does make me sad to say this. Gimpo aren't going to be our affiliate. Neither are Seoul Eland. Fantastic names, but Jeonnam here, they do have the best facilities of all the Korean clubs available, so I think we're going to choose them as an affiliate. Of course, we don't get that youth link up right away. That's an additional request I have to make. But at the very least, we've now got an affiliate in Korea. Okay, we are now an official affiliate with Jeonnam Dragons FC. Fantastic name. 4 times winner of the Korean FA Cup. Most recently in 2021. That was quite a while ago, really, in this universe. I mean, we've now got an affiliation in Korea, South Korea that is, Australia, China, Boston and Barnet. What an illustrious list. Manchester United have signed Alex Doolan from Leicester. That's annoying. What's more annoying is he's signed for them on £73,000 a week. He wanted like £140,000 off me. Someone should get him to look at the league table. We finished above Manchester United by 1 whole point. I'm not taking this well. I keep being asked about Bujak here, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if I want another injury-prone left wing-back, but he is really, really good for £3 million. I know someone sat there thinking, Jack, just sign a really rubbish player, but the issue is I need them to get a work permit as well. And in terms of Polish players who are interested in transfer, who are likely to get a work permit, there are 13 players. I could just sign Jakob here to be a 4th goalkeeper. I don't need 4 goalkeepers, but he would get the work permit. Jakob, I'm signing you, mate. Watford, give me your backup goalkeeper. They want 1.9 million. If I sign the goalkeeper for 1.9 million, Michael here, or Mikhail, I don't know. He's joining us for £3 million. It's like a £5 million transfer. Would I sign this man for 5 million? Yeah, I would. I think I've decided in my head. I've confirmed the signing here. I realise I probably should have waited to make sure that Jakob here actually wants to join us. He wants 13,000 to 17,000. He wants to be the backup. You can be a backup, mate. I have many backups. That'll do. Has just dawned on me. Transfer special. About 40 minutes in probably around now when it's edited. I've made one signing and Jakob, who I'm only signing because I need a Polish player. The Europa League has now appeared on the competition screen. I just need to get to the point where the season officially ticks over and hope that we're no longer a 3-star reputation team. I would take 3.5 stars, to be honest. Liverpool have this goalkeeper, Manny Wilford. Now, he looks absolutely nuts to me. 6.4 to £8 million for this guy. Am I about to sign another goalkeeper? I love Greg. My friendship with Greg might be ending. Manny might be my new best friend. Apparently, he wouldn't be interested in joining us, but he might be interested in our loan move. Liverpool wants 6.4 to 7.8 million. I could just loan him for the year, couldn't I? If I loan him for the year, they want a mandatory fee. Can we make it an optional fee, Liverpool? Okay, they've accepted this. I mean, it's not a cheap loan. It would equate to about a £10 million transfer if I decided to sign him at the end of it. He does look very good, right? I'm not going crazy. I'm not tripping out. I know he hates important matches and is injury prone. But I really, really like the look of this man. I'm kind of shocked that Liverpool are even willing to give him up. On loan. I'm puzzled. In terms of our current goalkeeping options, it probably means that I just sell Jeff Pell, who has actually been trying to force a move anyway. Yeah, see you, Jeff. Have a good life. Okay, the offer's been accepted for Wilford. That is really good. Arsenal top the sponsorship table. We are apparently at the bottom, but we are making £19 million in sponsorship money. That is better than what we had before. And apparently our stature grew a little over the last few months. It's still 3 stars. It's still 3. The season hasn't ticked over. I still have hope. Okay, Jakob is joining the club. I have signed a Polish player. We're not having a repeat of last year's Gutierrez situation. Abubakari's rejected Leganes, by the way. But Mikhail here is happy about the arrival of Jakob. Can I now just release Jakob? Jakob, you're going to be in the under-21s, mate. Can we release him? 1.2 million to just get rid of him. Probably not worth it. Might as well keep him around. Imagine if I did just sign him and then just release him after the player's like, I'm really pleased you've kept your promise, Gaffer. And then you just release the player you've signed to make him happy. That would be the kind of thing that I would do if I was streaming this and had a chat egging me on. Here on YouTube, I'm more sensible. Sensible hat is on. Okay, board expectations for this year. They want me to reach the league table stage of the Europa League. Do we start in the league stage of the Europa League, or have I got qualifying rounds to get through? I actually have no idea. If I up any of these, do I get more money? 4th round of the FA Cup for a bit more wages? Why not? And I'll say the league table stage. I don't understand the new European competitions. The league table I know has 32 teams in it, so it scares me. Not sure what to expect from it. Am I mad thinking Manny Wilford's this ridiculous bargain signing? It's £2.5 million plus his wages for a loan for the whole year. And then if we want to keep him around, it's £7.5 million if I decide I like him. He's 25 years old. He's English, which, we don't have enough English players in our team. I would like to get a little bit more domestic representation. And compared to Greg, he's probably better than Greg. My friendship with Greg has lasted 12 months. I feel like an evil person. Opening game of the season, Norwich away, followed by Tottenham at home, then Middlesbrough away. They are 2 away days that we've done, and we've already played Tottenham, and I've already played Manchester City, and I've already played Newcastle. Whoever organised these fixtures is an enemy of the away day. Have just realised the season has officially ticked over. What is our media prediction for the year? 18th. That, my friends, is progress. Also, the star rating's gone up by half a star. We are now continental in reputation. We are no longer an English breakfast. We are a continental breakfast. That said, we are still the lowest Premier League team in terms of reputation. And in fact, both Leicester and West Ham in the Championship are still above us. So it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I have just seen this now. Apparently we're 19th favourites for, the title, according to the latest odds. Norwich, the only team behind us, promoted Sheffield United in 18th. I don't want to get too excited. I'm looking through the players interested in transfer. I am noticing some Schalke players here. Now, the real question is, do the Schalke players that I want to sign actually want to join me? Bright Ben Till, mate, you would be absolute dynamite in my team at centre-back. I want you. I need you. Let's make it happen. Schalke don't want to make it happen. More offers made for Aboubakari. No one's offering a good amount. I want 4 million for him and 50% of any profit. Surely someone thinks that he's worth a punt at that price. Am I being greedy? I know I signed him for £325,000 and I know he didn't start a game last season, but I feel like at £4 million, that is a fair deal. I made an offer for Bright Ben Till. It got turned down. I'll offer a little bit more and suggest terms. Schalke still feel like they can get more. I'm offering you 30 million and he's not valued at that much. I've made a new bid for him. I think he's just not going to want to talk to me anyway. I'm not expecting him to be interested. I'm not sure I want to sign him at that much. Union Berlin have made a bid for Aboubakari. Look, let's make this deal happen. Okay, 3.5 million, 50% profit, and he is interested in speaking to them. I think I found Kennedy's move. The bid for Bentill's been rejected. I don't want to pay more than this. I'm kind of tempted just to make an offer. You know what? I'm going to make an offer that I know they'll accept of 50 million. I just want to know if he's even interested in talking to me. I offered them £50 million thinking they'll accept that. No, they want 60. No. Schalke. We're not playing ball, Schalke. I want to play tennis. You're trying to play ping pong. It's just not working. I do really like the look of Nevada here. Why do I like the look of this man so much? I think it's just he's such a complete player. I mean, he's listed as an elite striker as his media description. I'm going to make a bid. I don't know if he's going to want to talk to us. I don't know how much Schalke are going to be wanting. I have £64 million to spend. I could afford to spend a lot of money on a striker. Schalke, they want more money. Schalke are very greedy. £30 million, £10 million over 3 seasons. I'm not sure if Nevada is worth 40 million. But I'm more so just interested to see if he'd even want to join us. I've decided I hate Schalke Football Club. Never had an opinion on them before this. I now hate their guts. Manny Wilford set to join us. It's not a cheap loan, but for a new first choice goalkeeper that there's no long-term commitment to, it's a punt, and it's a punt that actually gives us the ability to sign him down the line if he really shines. Is he better than Greg? Yeah. Am I worried about his injury proneness and his important matches not being great? Also, yes. I think for the price we're paying, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Let me know what you think of this one in the comments. It's not a conventional work-the-space deal. I'll say that much. I don't usually do loans. I'm doing one here. I said going into today's episode, need a left centre-back, need a right wing-back. In that time, I've signed a left wing-back for the future, and I've signed a new goalkeeper replacing one of my favourite players in the team. I don't know if that makes it a successful or unsuccessful transfer special. I don't know if I can label this episode a transfer special. It's been more a off-season special. You know, behind the curtain, seeing all the weird and wonderful things that just happens when, well, normally I'm not here. McKillop set for a move to Stuttgart. Absolutely not. Bow your head, moment of silence. Mason Burstow has left the club. Loyal servant for, well, a couple of years. Signed for £16,000. He had some fun, and now he's not got a job. It's a bit of a sad ending to that tale, really, isn't it? I love hints and tips to quit the game. Go to FM Quit Game from the menu bar. Why is there a tip telling you how to quit the game? If you don't know how to close Football Manager, I don't know how you've opened and downloaded the game in the first place. Like, that would be quite the achievement. If you don't know how to close the game, how are you operating a computer? Genuine question. I mean, I assume everyone watching here knows how to close FM. I'd be worried if you didn't. There's probably some bloke just in a dark, dimly lit room who's just stuck playing Football Manager forever. Maybe that's why Football Manager's average play times are so high. They always tweet out about how many people have been playing the game now. On average, you know, each person's played 500 hours. It's because people don't know how to quit the game. Lemos wants to talk about his needs and his need to move to play with better players. Gustavo, you're really going to hurt me here, mate. Scott Williams, can you resolve this issue? Scotty Williams can't do it. We're in danger. I've been thinking for a while that it might be time for me to move on. We don't have a strong enough playing squad, so I'm here to ask for a move to a bigger club. He's killing me. He's killing me. I understand your reasoning, but I don't want to lose you. We've got some fantastic young prospects. That's true. If you give them time, they'll be playing in a team that's every bit as strong as the teams you're thinking of. I don't want to wait that long. Oh, Gustavo. I can see I'm not going to be able to talk you around, but money talks. Money talks. Do you want a pay rise? He's a professional, so I'll leave it here. He hates me. This could be the beginning of a breakup, everyone. Good news, though, no one's realised he wants to leave yet. Bad news, He does have that minimum release clause to clubs in continental competitions of 74 million. If I lost Lemos for 74 million, that would really, really hurt. Norwich are now making bids for Jaime. Jaime doesn't want to go. I don't want to sell him to them. Luton have made a bid for Colin Gilroy. Colin Gilroy has absolutely no potential. I signed him for £31,000 as a punt, and I'd long accepted I was going to lose money on him. But that bid, I'm actually going to take it. We've made profit. Just don't count the wages we've paid him over the years. Then we're probably not as much in profit. You know what? We've made it to the 1st of July. The reputation's gone up. And we've kind of ticked over a season. I feel like we've got a lot of the pre-season shenanigans done now, minus the whole actually signing the players that I need as opposed to just signing youngsters for the sake of it. I need a left centre-back maybe. I absolutely have to get a right wing-back. If I don't get a right wing-back in next episode, the whole thing's been a disaster. I must admit, today's been a slightly unconventional transfer special. It's been more of an off-season special, but I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a bit chaotic. It's been a bit fun for me playing through it. We have a new affiliate. We've moved stadiums. Our star player wants to leave us. One of our affiliates has been relegated, and some other stuff happened as well. I've lost track of what. Lots has happened. If you have enjoyed today's video, do make sure to drop a like on it. If you've got any feedback with regards to how we did the opening of this episode, or just the episode as a whole, leave it down in the comments. We are back same time and place tomorrow for more Park to Prem transfer special action. Until then, take it easy. It's me, Jack, and I'll see you on the next one, where I will actually sign a right wing back, I swear. Maybe. I shouldn't make promises I can't keep.